What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. And the first thing I want to visit is that Judge Greg Mathis' wife has filed for divorce after 39 years. So I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about this news. It's everywhere and a lot of people are talking about it. Now, there's a lot of speculation that's going around. But the one thing that gets on my nerves is that I've seen that a lot of people are saying that the reason why his wife filed for divorce is based off the fact that she found out that Judge Mathis has been on the down low for years. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. I know that Judge Mathis' son came out and said that he was gay, but I don't necessarily think that that's applicable to Judge Mathis. Not above the realm of possibility, but I don't think that that's the story here. I don't know what's wrong with our community. We're so quick to label a black man as gay. Why couldn't it just be the simple fact that the two grew apart? Right? They've been together for 39 years. Now, there's a video of Judge Mathis that's going around that's showing him dancing and having a good old time. Now, they're saying that this video actually was dropped right after his wife filed for divorce, but I haven't been able to confirm if it's a older video or if that video was actually made after his wife announced that she was divorcing him after 39 years. But I will say, not pushing the speculation that Judge Mathis is on the low, I just think something was terribly wrong within their marriage for her to divorce him, or file for divorce rather, after 39 years. Listen, she has time to take it back and, reconcile with her husband, but something was wrong there. There's a disconnect that's going on. And at the end of the day, I'm just wishing that both of these individuals get it together. But if love is lost on that type of level, but not on the friendship level, then sometimes it's best for people to just be apart and be friends. So all their children are grown, and so it is what it is. But what I want to do right now is play you these clips, and then I'll be back.
Don't nobody got to stay in no up ass marriage because y'all think they too old to get out of it. I am so tired of hearing this narrative around Judge Mathis's wife divorcing him, that if she stayed for 39 years, whatever made her stay, what could have went wrong after 39 years, and whatever it was, she should just stay, because if you put up with it this long, then you need to just go ahead and stay in it. Who the f do you people think you are? For real. For real. That actually pisses me off, especially because I hear a lot of women saying it. And I'm like, sister, you really, if a woman divorces a man after 39 years, she is tired as hell. Something happened in that marriage. And I'm not accusing Judge Mathis of anything, although I have heard Judge Mathis talk in and out of the courtroom, and I could see that woman is tired. Typically, when women of a certain age get a divorce after decades, it is because they have been enduring decades of abuse, whether it was physical, mental, emotional, financial, or otherwise. They typically stay because they are from a generation that stayed. They were in a time where people stayed. And you know where we are now? We are not in that time. People do not have to stay. Nobody has to stay with your stupid, with your abusive ass, because they are older. I don't care if that woman is 80 years old. If she's 80 and she gonna live to be 85 and she wanna live out them last 5 years in peace, let her. I saw a video of him dancing and everybody was like, oh, he ain't thinking about no divorce. He ready to get them streets. That motherfucker already hitting the streets. Why do you think his wife is divorcing him? My God. I'm like, some women are anti-woman. Cheer this sister on, because it takes a lot of courage. And I'm speaking directly to his wife. I don't know, Mrs. Mathis, Mrs. Judge Mathis. I don't know. I don't know the story, so I'm not going to pretend like I know for real. But sister, mother, it took an incredible amount of courage for you to file for a divorce after 39 years. So if you felt the need to do it, who are we to judge why you did it? I guarantee, ask that woman's children on the low, and I bet you the children was probably saying, you need to leave him, Mom. Mom, you need to leave. You got to get out of this, Mom. And I'm not saying that that's for sure, because like I said, these ain't my parents. This ain't my uncle and auntie. I don't know. But I'm telling you, if a woman gets a divorce after that many years, there's a reason.
Judge Mathis' wife of 39 years files for divorce after 39 years of marriage. And I know a lot of people are probably like, I wonder why they would be getting divorced after 39 years together, right? But see, me, I knew someone quite right a couple years back. Now, you might say, How would you know something like that? But let me show you. Just follow me. December 25th, 2022. This comes across my timeline. Now, I'm going to give y'all a second to find Judge Mathis. And when you find him, I want you to find them in the comments. But for those of y'all who haven't found them yet, let me help you out. See, I knew something was not quite right in the Mathis house. Now, I kept it to myself because it really ain't none of my business. Wasn't none of my business then, ain't none of my business now. But I think this woman is leaving him for a good reason. I don't know what that reason may be, but I knew something wasn't quite right somewhere around December 25th, 2022. So to many people, the Mathis split comes as a surprise. But not for me. Not for me.
Judge Greg Mathis's wife, Linda Reese Mathis, files for divorce after 39 years of marriage. What do y'all think he did? Long-term celebrity marriages aren't unbreakable. 10 high-profile couples split after 30-plus years, including Bill and Melinda Gates, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Maria Ellen Tipper-Gore, and Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. Even royals like Charles and Diana couldn't last. Their long-term divorces include Morgan Freeman, Harrison Ford, Clint Eastwood, Susan Sarandon, and Thurston Moore. Of can still walk out the door no matter how long you've been together.
You slept with, you allegedly got her pregnant. Listen to just let me draw up the skeleton, Judge, and then you fill in the meat.
Wendy, I didn't read that part. Now you making that up.
Okay, let me draw up.
And WBLS about to be sued for defamation. You gonna make some stuff.
Okay,
up here
Judge,
that
you
wasn't
are
even alleged.
Okay,
now, that's called defamation.
All right.
That's called defamation, Wendy.
Okay,
she did not allege that.
All right, look.
I'll tell you what she alleged. It wasn't that.
All right, you tell me what she alleged, Judge. In all of your anger.
I'm not angry.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not angry.
Okay,
she said that she had an encounter with me where I was getting high.
Doing cocaine.
Doing addicted to based on your nasal passages and all these days you're missing at work and going in and out of the bathroom right while I'm here in the studio. As I told you, I've never used cocaine in my life.
Are you following me?
Listen, I've never used cocaine in my life.
Okay, well,
never in my
tell
life.
me what else she alleged, Judge.
She also alleged that I asked her to sleep with my wife.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and so, and if you want to believe that ridiculous nonsense, you feel free to. But and you want to keep fueling it when no one else has even asked me about it.
Nobody else keeps it real like
everyone
this.
in the media knows that tabloids print trash. But every week that they pay people to come up with you or anyone in this studio to go to a tabloid and tell them I want to sell you a story on someone, and they'll buy it.
Right.
And if that's the type of stuff that you fuel on your show,
and
feel free to. But I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
I also got it.
I didn't do it.
I also got it.
I have nothing to do with it. And I don't know the woman. Never met her. Never used cocaine. Now, let's talk about fueling your stuff. You, on the other hand, have admitted to being addicted to cocaine.
Absolutely.
Secondly, you continue to show symptoms of your addiction.
Okay.
Lastly,
what are those symptoms? Tell me.
These nasal passages you keep coughing up.
And I did Afrin.
This eternal cold that you continue to have.
Yes,
that you can't have to come to work because every other week, and now you're even stupid so low as to blame it on your baby, your newborn. How low can you get?
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, I wanted to play you guys a little bit of the back and forth between Wendy Williams and Greg Mathis back in the day. And Wendy was trying to tell us basically that Greg was wild out there in those streets. Now, listen, I don't know if that information was factual at that time, but Wendy was giving us a lot of information about celebrities back then that ended up being true. And given Wendy's track record when it came to reporting, I'm leaning towards that some of it may have been true in regards to Greg Mathis. So listen, I just hope the best for both Greg and his ex-wife to be Linda. I hope they can reconcile and get things together. But again, I'm not against Linda and Greg Mathis going out here and living their best lives. You know, at the end of the day, you can't sit back and just be in a miserable marriage if you're just not happy. If you want to go on and do your own thing, live in your truth. It doesn't matter if you've been married for 39 years or 49 years. If you feel like it's not benefiting you in some way, if it's not healthy for you, go ahead and get out of that marriage. But anyway, guys, I want to transition to this next story because Jermaine Dupri is getting ate up in these internet streets. He posted a video questioning Kamala. JD is basically asking a simple question like, what makes you think that Kamala is going to do anything if she wins the presidency, if she's been the vice president for 3.5 years and haven't done anything? And so I hear a lot of that coming from my people, but they don't understand how politics work. They really don't. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear because I don't want to generalize everybody within my community. I'm going to say some of y'all don't know how politics work, okay? That's just my opinion. Because name me a vice president that overstepped the president to make decisions in this country. Why is Kamala being held to a different and higher standard than any other vice president that has ever served this country? I'm gonna tell you why. It's a lot of misogyny going on. And honestly, I see a lot of women that don't feel that a woman should be the president of the United States. A lot of women feel that they feel safer with a man at the helm. And I'm thinking to myself, is this the equality that women fought for all of these years, only to fall short when it comes to a woman actually becoming the president of the United States of America? This is what we all fought for, you know, to be able to run big corporations in a male-dominated field and things like that. And now you have women on the internet saying, I don't want a woman as president. It's really crazy to me. But anyway, what I want to do right here is play you guys what JD had to say, and then I'm going to play you this sister that eloquently ate him alive.
Yo, out here getting these 5 miles in, as you see me do every day. Real quick, I want to talk about the DNC. I feel like the DNC has been going amazing, but I also feel like tonight Kamala Harris has a pretty difficult job, right? And it's interesting because the Republican correspondent that's been doing the roundup after the DNC has ended, he asked the question that I kind of asked Kamala when we had our second meeting. You know, if, you know, the fact that she's in office right now, she's in the White House right now. And the guy, he said, what makes y'all believe that she's gonna get this stuff done if she becomes president and she's already in the House? And it's a tricky question because I asked Kamala basically the same thing, right? In so many words. And I asked her, like, as the vice president, why they don't let her talk when, you know, Biden seems like he needed someone to speak up for him. I thought that's what the role of the vice president was to help the president. And basically, she kind of let me know that her hands was tied, that they didn't really allow her to be a voice like that in that space. And tonight, I don't know if she's gonna, you know, I want to see how if she even touches on this, because if she doesn't touch on it, that's the question that I feel like the people that have mixed decisions about voting for her, this is one of the questions. This is the top question that they had. And like I said, this is what the Republicans are saying. You know, and they never heard the part about her hands being tied. And if she says something about her hands being tied, then it makes it look like the White House or the Democratic Party didn't really want her to exceed. So she can't really say her hands was tied, but she does have to step into that space. This is something I do believe.
Dear Jermaine Dupri and any other that got to say about Kamala Harris running for president. I already put this on Twitter, but sometimes tone is misinterpreted with the written word, so I thought I'd say it. Now, Jermaine Dupri posted this rambling nonsense on social media yesterday, and I'm not really sure what this man who cheated on Janet Jackson is asking, but I think the answer is you don't understand how the system works, Jermaine. There are a lot of things people think presidents can do without congressional approval, but people are wrong. Congress has a lot of power. Now, Jermaine, I know you are a successful businessman and CEO, but our government is not a business. It runs on a constitution. And to make laws or spend federal money in this country, you have to follow a set of rules that are enforced by Robert's rules. And people who belong to D9 organizations, or basically any organization that has constitution and bylaws, they are very familiar with Robert's rules. But people who own record labels and ice cream companies are not. Additionally, our government is basically run on the honor system. Everybody is supposed to respect and follow and enforce the rules. Republicans do not do this. They exploit the rules so that they can cheat and get rule changes in their favor. They create problems to look like they are the only ones that can solve problems. And if the GOP gets power back this November, they are going to change the rules of how our government works so that they can remain in power permanently. That is why Trump packed the federal courts during his term. That is why he packed the Supreme Court, so that they could cheat legally. And there is no boss or CEO that can stop them. Now we, and when I say we, I mean women, I mean indigenous people, I mean black people, I mean Latinos, I mean Asians, I mean the LGBTQIA community, immigrants. We weren't supposed to be included in this government the way our Constitution was originally written. That's why they had to write amendments. And everybody is supposed to respect and follow the amendments. And the amendments are what give all those marginalized groups rights. So how do you discriminate against people that the amendments protect? You make new laws that defy the amendments. Who is going to make you stop making new laws? The people you discriminate against? They are poor and they cannot afford to take you to court. And court is the only way we can have laws changed in this country. And even if we did take these fools to court, the federal appeals courts have been packed with MAGA judges by Trump. So is the Supreme Court. So even if you are logically and morally wrong for changing the laws, you will be upheld as legally right in this country with the current government that we have. Trump and the GOP are trying to legally make a slave class in this country. Period. Point blank. They want to change the laws so that they can oppress us legally, and there is nothing we can do about it for generations because the Supreme Court they have now will uphold these laws. They want minorities and women in America to be suckers and slaves in order to make Trump and whomever he and his cronies deem worthy more wealthy. Now, Project 2025 is a real life guide to becoming Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale. And this is not an exaggeration. If you have not looked up what Project 2025 plans to do to anybody who is not a white, heteronormative, Christo-fascist male in this country, you better get your on Google and read. For those of you who fell asleep in civics class all the time, 2/3 of Congress can override anything a president wants to do. With the number of MAGA Republicans in Congress, there will never be an override if they get back in power. Y'all only show up every 4 years to vote for the president, and you refuse to show up every 2 years in the midterms to give the president the Congress they need to pass legislation they had on their platform or to stop bad presidents from implementing harmful legislation. Since Bill Clinton's second term, we have had hyper-partisan nonsense going on in our Congress. And there are a lot of reasons why that was going on, but it was mostly because Bill Clinton started fixing the mess of Reaganomics. When Bill Clinton was in office, America was in a surplus. Every time we put Republicans in power in our government, we are at a financial deficit, and they look to all the poor people to make up the deficit. That's why inflation and our taxes and cost so much while these companies are making record profit. Okay? And too many minorities were benefiting during the 90s. That's why they had it out for Bill Clinton's, and that's why they tried to impeach him over that nonsense that happened with him and Monica Lewinsky. It is not a coincidence that one of the architects of getting Clinton impeached back then is our present sitting Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Since 1973, they have been trying to get women back under control because that is when women started receiving the legal right to do things on their own, to have a bank account on your own, to have a credit card on your own, to purchase a home on your own. We could not do that before 1973. And then lots of the provisions in the Civil Rights Act that allowed minorities to vote have expired and they do not want to renew them. That is why they had to present the John Lewis Voting Act, because the original Voting Act has expired. These people do not want women or minorities to have rights in this country. They want the government they originally had with white land-owning men, and they want to do it legally. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself why Rick Santorum's crazy has been trying to force a constitutional convention in this country since damn near Obama's first term, because they do not want black people, brown people, Asian people, indigenous people, LGBTQIA people. They do not want us in power in this country, y'all. If we elect Kamala Harris as president, she can't do nothing if we don't give her the House and the Senate she needs to get it done. That's why we say vote down the ballot, vote for all the Democrats, and fire the GOP. She needs it in 2024. She needs it in 2026. She's going to need it in 2028. She's going to need it in 2030. You have to keep coming back and voting in the midterms, okay? But if Trump gets in there, he has enough cult members in Congress to get the rules changed and our rights are done. We will be living in Russia Jr. for the next few generations. Not the next few years, the next few generations. I need y'all to remember that Jim Crow laws had to be overturned by the Supreme Court. These did not just start acting right because they had some kind of epiphany about bigotry. The laws changed and then they enforced the laws. That is why they're trying to change them back. Y'all really got to start focusing on the right things, bruh. So all you impressionable people out there who listen to celebrities just because they have money, or listen to Jermaine Dupri just because he's famous and made some good bops, do not let a who cheated on Janet Jackson influence you to make a bad decision for your life too. We can actually crush the Republican Party this year because they are broke as a joke, okay? We can crush them and keep working to shape our government the way we want it to look if we participate. This is a slow process, y'all, but you have to participate every year and not just pop out every 4 years talking and being a contrarian. In summation, please learn how the system works and participate in your government every election. These people are our employees, y'all. It is up to us to hire and fire the people who make the laws that run our lives. And that is what voting is. The hiring process is a zero-sum group project. If you don't show up, the other team is winning. If you vote for a third party that cannot win, the other team is still gaining votes and winning. The only way for you to win is to vote against the who are trying to hurt you. If you do not vote against the incompetent candidate, which is basically the majority of the GOP, America is and so is your freedom. Real talk. So all of this nonsense y'all going on and on about, you need to stop it. You need to learn how our system works, and you need to vote and fire the entire GOP.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. There's nothing else for me to say. She handled it so beautifully and so eloquently, like I said previously. What I want you guys to do now is drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I get with you guys later. Peace.